Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studio, it's time for the GNFCC 400 Insider. Connect, build, and grow with the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce.
Hello and welcome to the GNFCC 400 Insider, the monthly radio show and podcast presented by the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce. I am Callie Boatright, President and CEO of the Greater North Fulton Chamber, and excited to be here today. In today's episode, we'll be talking with only one of our Bold Women's Award winners, Miss Katrina Singletary. Welcome, Katrina.
Thank you.
Katrina, we are so excited to have you here with us, and we're excited to talk to you today about all of the exciting things happening in Roswell. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask you to introduce yourself a little bit for our listeners who may not know you yet. Maybe tell a little bit about yourself and what you do for the city of Roswell.
Absolutely. My name's Katrina Singletary, and I have the privilege of being the Government Community Affairs Manager in the Mayor's Office for the city of Roswell. So what that means is I manage the relationships at an international, federal, state, and local level. And I leverage those relationships to further the goals of the Roswell Mayor and Council. Usually that's done in the economic world, that piece of the city, but it also translates into grants and appropriations and a lot of other things that require relationships. My background is I've been on the city team since 2015. I am on my second tour of duty. I took a little bit of time off in 2020 to go do some things. I have an undergraduate degree in counseling and a master's degree in public policy, and really local government and bettering communities and changing these small communities is really a passion of mine. Like, I love local communities, the strength of each one, the unique identity of each one, and how we get to all work together to better them. That is super exciting.
I know you have an incredible passion for the city of Roswell and for all of the things that you have done there. I'm so impressed. First, I do want to congratulate you on your recent honor with the Bold Businesswoman on the Rise Award. We, of course, love at the Chamber supporting Women's History Month and honoring the work of all of the businesswomen around the region. You were actually honored alongside some pretty amazing women. Maria Fendora, who won the Legacy Award. We had Nikki Rudd, who won Large Business, and of course, Heather Demis for Small Business. All of these women are amazing and so exciting to have around you. I'm sure that was a special moment to be able to receive an award like that among these incredible women. How did that feel? That was just recently.
I felt so honored because I feel like I'm very honored to win this award. So in my sector, it's you keep your head down and you keep working and you don't come up for air, and it's grind. But to take a moment to breathe and see these other women accomplishing these phenomenal things. Oh my gosh, Miss Maria, like what an inspiration. She is the definition of beautiful. Her work in moving the needle in research and development on cancer, her ability, I know she is, whatever she does, she puts a lot of love into. If it's her food, if it's her business, if it's her fundraising things, like you just get close to her, just physically proximity, and you're attracted to that woman.
Yes.
And it is such an honor. She is a legacy, and I really do look up to her.
Well, and I think to know Maria is to love her. And of course, she has her own nonprofit, as does, we honored Christy for her nonprofit work with the foster care system, something that's so important. There are just so many amazing women. It's hard to limit the number of awards. And of course, for this show, we only had the opportunity to bring on one of you. So I'm just so delighted that you're here with us. And I do want to recognize all the amazing women who received awards last week. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about how the city of Roswell is making really big moves right now for its citizens. I know that you've worked with Mayor Wilson. Kurt Wilson has done a great job as mayor. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about the goals of the city under Mayor Wilson's leadership?
Absolutely. So he came on board 3 years ago. We're about to be at the 3.5-year mark. He's up for re-election this year. And he came into a system and basically looked around and said, if this was a private business, we probably wouldn't be open. And he's not wrong, right? Government is clunky. We're slow. It's designed to be that. So he wanted to basically come in and change everything to make it more innovative, more adaptive, faster, and cut through a lot of the regulation that the city has placed on itself. Very much on purpose. It did that under different leadership, and they all have their reasons for doing that. But I think the voters spoke and they said, we want something new and fresh and different, and we want a government to behave differently. That has been extraordinarily difficult. They spent the first 2 years in strategy, moving people around, changing teams, getting the right players at the table. And I have never in my life been a part of a team that is more fantastic than who we have now. He has instituted a C-level suite, which you will not find in other governments. We have a COO who was the former Delta Connections CEO. We have a CFO and who is a retired senior person at
he was at Fraser and Dater. Yeah,
he sure was. Yep. And we have the CFO, and then we have another one. Nope. Yep. We're still working on that. These people have never worked in government, so they're coming in with fresh eyes, saying, "Why do you do it this way?" And we're
really from a business perspective, right?
Exactly. And we're having to educate them. Nope, government does have regulation, very much on purpose. We do move slow on purpose sometimes, but there's a lot of room for improvement. So we are formalizing new policies. We are becoming faster, more innovative. We are trusting each other. We're breaking silos. And I am so excited to be a part of this team. It is really exciting. We're honestly redefining local government.
I can see why. I would think they'd be very excited to have you as part of the team too. One of the great things that you have most recently done for Roswell has been your work on the PBS Aerospace acquisition, including the first really venture out internationally to bring business here. And I don't want to tell the story because it's an incredible story. I want you to share how this all came to pass.
Absolutely. It's really fun. So it involves another really powerful female, Monika Ventrikulova. She's the consulate of the Czech Republic for the Atlanta area and for this region. We met. She was thinking about moving her office up to this the northern piece. And we have a mutual friend who we all went to dinner with one night. And I try, as much as I love to talk, I also really love to learn. And I had never gotten to eat dinner with someone who represents a different country. And I was fascinated by that. And what I heard her say was, because their country is only 10 million, it's basically the size of Georgia. They don't get as much attention from the state as they would like. And I can understand that. There's a lot of countries, and
turns out it's a big world, right?
It turns out it's a big world.
That's right.
Turns out we want our state economic department to go after the big guns.
Sure.
And I get that. But there's a lot of companies that are 100 people, 50 people, 75 people, and they want to move into the US. And she's having a hard time finding people to help host and finding people to help build relations. What I heard was opportunity. What I heard was great relations could equal more jobs and could equal a lot of new things that Roswell's never done. So we continued that relationship. We helped host a couple of her delegations and really built trust with one another. Mm-hmm. And she invited us on a trade mission trip, and Mayor Wilson allowed us to go. He said he gave us permission to fail. He said,
you mentioned that in your acceptance speech. I love that. If you're going to
fail big, do it big. You got to own it.
Yeah, right? No, it's still a failure.
And you better do it with excellence. But I give you my trust. And he did. And we had never done anything like it before. And we took Peter Sorkhoff, who is our business consultant, and Christine Hall, Councilmember Christine Hall. And it was an amazing experience. We worked so hard. We were taking 9 meetings a day, running from one to another, but
it was nonstop. You guys just hit the ground and started.
Yeah. But it was an amazing experience. And what we saw was the ocean is deep with opportunity for Roswell. There are so many companies that are mid-size entering into the market. And because the U.S. isn't going to them in their minds, they need to go to New York or Silicon Valley or Chicago.
Sure.
Atlanta's not on their map. And who is Roswell? So when we show up and we explain, we're a piece of Atlanta, we're the best piece of Atlanta, we're where you want to raise your family, and we have all these similarities, they perked up. So we really started a narrative that we were able to see that through to the end. And PBS Aerospace, after a lot of hard work with an entire team of people from the city of Roswell, they chose Roswell.
Congratulations. That is a huge get. And so maybe, do you mind sharing a little bit about what PBS Aerospace does?
Absolutely. So they're a nearly 200-year-old company out of the Czech Republic. They make small turbine engines for military drones, for missiles, for airplanes. They are extremely advanced in research and development, and they are bringing over a manufacturing plant. So they're going to assemble all the parts. The parts will be manufactured in the U.S., shipped to Roswell, and assembled, and they will be tested as well. But they are so far advanced. They have engines that can get dropped in the ocean, and if they can go retrieve it, they can dry it out and reuse it.
That's amazing.
And it's really cool stuff, what they're doing.
Well, in aerospace, there's a huge theme there that this is a growing industry all across, certainly the U.S., more and more, but in this area. And so the fact that you've got jobs and high-paying jobs, these are not typical manufacturing jobs. These are high-paying jobs for an aerospace company that also brings with it other folks.
Absolutely. We had a lot of people wait. We didn't know this piece either. There are other companies that were waiting to see where they were going to land their headquarters because there is a halo effect.
Absolutely.
So we're very proud of that. The phone is ringing. And actually, PBS, I was just told last week, they're expanding before they open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's going so well with Roswell. We developed a white glove program for them. This was a heavy lift with the team. We had to really cast vision and say, I think we can do this. I think we can give special privileges to a developer, assign them one project manager, and help them figure out their problems, because their problems are our problems. It's more B2B, right?
Yeah.
So when their GC doesn't understand a permitting process, we can't put our hands up in the air. We have to get in there and help them fix it. And have been astonished. It is working.
So that's special, that's different, that's a concierge level service where you look at a company and say, we want to make it work for you, not a cookie cutter approach. Is that really what it takes to go after a company like PBS, like this aerospace company?
I think so. We did attach a number to it, and now we know we drastically undervalued the program.
Oh, wow.
And PBS has agreed to be our spokesperson for it. So if we have another company that would fit the level of investment needed to get that concierge service, they are more than excited to be our spokesperson and tell people how well they've done. The chairman of the board flew over from Czech 2 weeks ago just to tell the mayor we have exceeded their expectations. From a local government standpoint, that stuff doesn't happen.
And if not speaking out of turn, but this was new for you, right?
Exactly.
It's not like this is your background or this is your history. This is something that you and the team were driven to go after. A small but mighty group goes across to the Czech Republic based on relationships with Monica and others, but that's relationships is how economic development deals get done. But the reality is what you all have done on this side has them bragging about it back at home and growing before they even get here. So what impact does the city foresee PBS Aerospace having on the community and on the local economy?
We think it's going to have a huge impact. And we have been astonished at how well the announcement went and how many people are taking notice. The phone is ringing. Mayor Wilson has said we're going into the advanced air mobility space. We want to be the epicenter of Georgia for advanced air mobility, and aerospace fits into that category.
Right.
We want to be the first city with a vertiport. So this all kind of validates the vision and the plan that they spent 2 years working on. So we're moving from strategy to execution. It's the first time we executed. We did it with excellence, which is so exciting. But we feel that it gave us a lot of validation to go back. We're going back this year to say, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. This is what you can expect. And here's the people who can validate that for us.
And I think as someone who has heard the conversation around the vertiport and thinks it's amazing and wants it in this region, I think it's incredibly important. But how well this fits within the mold of what you all really strategized and put out there, right? And so I think that how it fits in with that long-term vision of what Roswell seeks is really, truly important. And the fact that you all are in lockstep around it. You see the vision and you've gone after it. I think that's I think that's incredible. So the aerospace industry with the vertiport and the other things around that, but that's not all. It's not like you guys are just focusing on that space. You may or may not have had a little announcement about sports, soccer specifically. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? That's sexy, right? That's something that everybody can get behind, and you grow up with your kids or you playing soccer. And so that's really exciting. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we have 2 franchises coming in from the USL. It'll be a women's led soccer development, and we'll also have a men's team. They will be paid equally, and we're very excited about that.
That's incredible.
Yeah. The stadium should be around 15 to 18,000 people.
Right.
It's in development mode right now. And the men's soccer team will be Division I. So that means they will play Atlanta United. And that's a new update.
I was going to say, I think that's breaking news because I haven't heard that.
Yeah, Division I. So we're very excited about that. That's new. It's growing. The excitement's coming. We don't have a location yet. That's underway. The team is actively working on that through land acquisition. But wherever it goes, the land parcels that we're looking at, it will be bigger than the Battery. So the stadium won't be as large as the Battery Stadium.
Sure.
But the entertainment district that it's going to live in will be larger than the Battery.
And so the vision here is not just soccer. It is a soccer atmosphere. It is to have what has been built up in the Battery. And of course, I've heard you talk about this. So it's not just that 15 to 18K stadium. It's everything that supports it as the ecosystem around it and will drive visitors to stay far longer than a soccer game.
Absolutely. And it's directly tied into the economic development strategy. We fully intend on using this when we go back, because we know to get those types of employees that people want to come and stay, they want to be, if they're going to be in the office, it better be a fun one.
That's right.
The offices that look into the stadium and are attached to them, they're full. Yeah, for the Battery, rather. They have no problems with their office that's attached to the Battery. So we anticipate the same. Where this will be designed in a way where we can have office, we will have retail, there will be single family homes, we will have mixed use. It's going to be beautiful, and we think it is exactly the opportunity we need to bridge East and West Roswell. We're really excited about that.
And you just put the definition around live, work, play environment as well, which is a big piece of that. So Division I men's team, which is an update. I had not heard that yet. So that's fabulous news. Women's team still the same. Awesome. That's very exciting. And I think something that obviously feeds the entire region, much the Mayor's Amphitheater, right, is a draw for the entire region. So these opportunities to bring people into North Fulton as the epicenter of Atlanta moves north, to your point, I think is a big piece of that. So that's another huge announcement. And of course, you guys have done a great job with Roswell Junction, converting church over to a major food hall and so many other things with Southern Post. I just think about all the things that have happened in Roswell that really have happened in the last, 12 months. Yeah. Maybe even less. And obviously planning for longer than that period of time. Are there any other initiatives or projects that you, and obviously that you can talk about, but also that you're personally excited about?
Yeah, so we have the Hill Street project, and that's about a $100 million project, and that is where the current police station is. We did buy a new public safety center off Holcomb Bridge, really centralizing our public safety, and we'll be able to now, the police and the fire will be able to live together in the same building. We're really excited about that. We think there's going to be a lot of synergy between those two departments when historically they operate very independently of each other.
But they certainly interact all the time as public safety officials. So that makes a lot of sense. And that'll be right off Holcomb Bridge.
Correct.
So that's going to be a change for the better, I believe, too. So that's really exciting.
So the land deal for Hill Street is a very complex deal that way smarter people than me drafted. But at the end of the day, the taxpayers are participating, and that taxpayers will be paid for this. So we've moved from a place where we salivate anytime a developer comes by and says, I can build X, Y, Z. And we're like, here, we'll pay you to build it. Now people are paying the taxpayer to invest long-term investments, which is leading us closer to the ultimate goal of getting rid of the millage rate, lowering the millage rate, moving that burden onto the business community and getting it off of our residents.
Which truly is the argument for economic development from a business corporate perspective, right? To move that off of your residents and really balance it in a city like Roswell. That's going to be really important. It's a 100,000 person city. That's incredibly important. Talk a little bit about Hill Street and about the plan for that.
So that's mixed use. It's on 7 acres, and we just released the plans. I think they'll review them tonight. Actually, in the mayor and council meeting, there'll be a flyover video. It's beautiful. I think there's 192 apartments, and it originally was going to be that many apartments on like less than 2 acres. So it was going to be super dense.
Yes.
So we went back and master planned the whole thing.
Pulled in some more land. Yes.
Yep. And figured out a better product for the community that's going to be a much longer term positive benefit. Walkable, beautiful, green space, rooftops. It's a kind of like a mini Avalon.
Right.
But to that level, it's going to be really fantastic.
And it embeds the green space in it, which I find incredibly important, especially as you're putting up apartments and townhomes, if I remember correctly from the presentation that I saw.
Just a few townhomes.
Yeah.
But I think that we're also trying to remember who we are. So like the old water tower isn't going anywhere. It's staying. So some character elements like that.
Right.
So I really love that.
It's embracing the city culture, and the city culture is very much immersed in the history of the city, right? So I think that old and new blend beautifully and seamlessly in the way that you all have approached this. So you don't tear down the old, you embrace the old and build in with it. And you have that same experience with converting the church. I think that's a good example of the quality of work that y'all do and that we've seen come out of the city of Roswell. Okay, Katrina, anything else you want to share with us? I want to make sure you have the opportunity to tell us about all the exciting things happening in Roswell. And like I said, we've covered sports, aerospace. So we've got rocket science and we've got sports and all the other things that fill in between that. Is there anything else?
Yes, there's tons.
You'd tell me, but you'd have to kill me, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah. So we are going after AI, the weird part of AI. So I tell everyone
the weird part of
AI, we're owning that side. It's the human factor side.
Okay.
So anything that has to do with humans and how we better ourselves, and in the future, right, we will be scaling ourselves through AI. AI is going to come fix everything, and we think we'll go through another renaissance. Right, error.
On the health side.
Yes, right?
Absolutely.
And so that will open up a lot of opportunities. So we are going after that piece that is brand new. It's emerging. We feel like it has the most opportunity to scale, and we want to be a destination for that. So we're going after those AI and that sector of AI, that which will eventually go into our Tech North development. That may or may not be a name that stays.
Sure.
But that's the placeholder name for it. And we are going to be redeveloping a large scale property with a large Czech business owner. And we will, I think, going to create quite the destination that's an innovative destination where international companies come to land, and they're going to have a safe space to land. We will make it very easy for them. And I think it will naturally gravitate all of the sectors, and the halo effect to that will just have a gravitational pull. And that's exciting.
And it creates ecosystem where they learn and work with one another too, right? Within that technology area, because it is weird AI. It is a new emerging AI or new emerging technology. And so folks learn from one another as it grows. So that'll be an interesting opportunity on that healthcare side, which Roswell has already with the hospital and other. I'm very intrigued and excited as I remain from what you guys have done. It's good to be a raving fan of our cities, and certainly Roswell is absolutely killing it with you at the lead. So what if our listeners want to know more about these things? How would they reach out to you and learn more?
Absolutely. You can reach out to the mayor's office. So all of the phone numbers on our city website, you can type my name in and I pop up. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm super accessible. My cell phone number is everywhere. That is my actual cell phone number. If you find it on the internet, it's probably the real one. But reach out. We want to be friends with everybody. We want everyone to know what we're doing, especially our North Fulton friends, because we are here to complement, not compete. And I feel like I've had to say that a lot. We are here to complement not compete. And we really view it that way. We're not going after fintech. We're not going after anything that our good friends in Alpharetta already have. We want to create business sectors that are going to complement that, and high tide raises all boats. We really feel like this is going to be this era that Roswell is entering into. We're going to be the leaders of North Fulton once again. We're a 171-year-old city. And in a lot of ways, we created North Fulton. And in a lot of ways, we chose to be a bedroom community. So we said, hey, send all that development up to our friends in Alpharetta. We don't want it. Residents have changed their mind. So we're going to take the helm again. We're going to lead again with purpose. We're going to lead with open hands. And I think I know we're going to be very successful. I'm really excited.
I am delighted to not just learn more, but to hear your passion for the projects that you're working on, and certainly others within the community with your academic development partners as well. I just want to say congratulations on the RISE Award. You can certainly understand why Katrina was the recipient and why it's not just Katrina, but also Roswell that's on the rise as a city. So we're eager and excited to see what's next, and certainly partner in supporting you with all of this. You can reach out and talk to Katrina through the city of Roswell. As she said, if you are interested in learning more about the chamber, you can always reach out to me at learnmore@gnfcc.com. I do want to thank Katrina for joining us today. As I said, your award was so much deserved, and we want to continue to watch and be part of what you're bringing and others are bringing to Roswell. You've got a great team. Yes, kudos on that.
Thank you.
All right. So for more information about the programs, events, partnerships, and of course the development opportunities available at the Greater North Fulton Chamber, you can always visit gnfcc.com. And until next time, I'm Callie Boatright, and this has been the GNFCC 400 Insider on Business Radio X.